from the east come to life in this our home, yeah home, yeah home, yeah home.
Hello, Nancy Heinz-Glaser with SOMAtv for all art all the time, out in studios and galleries with our artists from the area that are amazing. And I'm in my favorite part of Maplewood today, which is Little Ridgewood section, a couple of great little stores. I love all of Maplewood, but this part in particular makes me happy. And I'm here at Gas Gallery and Studios with Rick Hauser. And we're going to talk today about Jeremy Moss's exhibit. And I want you to say a few words to everybody out there. Would you, Rick? Tell us all about you and about the place.
Well, this gallery is about 6 months old. We opened January 30th. I've been up here with the framing business since 2004, and this place became available. It was filled with a lot of antiques with not much room in it. Now, hopefully you'll see sometime. There's plenty of room. Jeremy is the 7th show that we've had, and probably the most excited about this one because of the range of work. His view on the planet and the bits and pieces, and he kind of goes into the microscopic portions of it, as I do with my photography.
So, and you know, you're a good guy, so I know you sponsored Soma Artists for Haiti,
Yep.
which was a big fundraiser, and you're always involved in the Artist Studio Tour. And one of the things I'm excited about this area and your business in particular is it's really generated a lot of excitement, because I really do believe art builds business. I do. And you must too. That's why you invested in a second spot, right?
Yes.
And the place is for rent for people, I believe?
It
They want
is.
to have their own
It's
shows.
our main objective is to have great art for people to see at a reasonable cost. Our other objective is to keep the place active. We are actually just about to begin a series of yoga classes in the studio, merging art and yoga, and two great teachers participating in that. We also host private events, parties. It's just a very intimate venue, and most people have been very happy being here.
And it's a heck of a lot of fun. So come on down and see Jeremy's work if you can, or catch anybody who's there, because it's an awful lot of fun. And I thank you, and thank you for sharing the space with us so I can interview Jeremy.
Anytime.
And here I am on a bench in front of another one of Jeremy Moss's wonderful pieces. Hi, Jeremy.
Hi.
I've been wanting to have you on camera for a while. Number one, you're a neighbor, and I discovered you were an artist, and it was all very quirky how we met. But more importantly, finally being able to see your wonderful work. I've seen pieces here or there, but never all in one place. So what is the show about? Rick told us a little bit about his perspective. What is the show about?
Right, well, the show is called Elements, and it's a great way of portraying what I like to shoot, and that's anything to do with nature, ultimately. But not just the obvious sort of flower and plant shots. I like to sort of delve in there and see what sort of textures and patterns I can find, and you know, hopefully find thought-provoking, interesting pieces to photograph.
And so they all start with photography, or they're all photographs? You don't paint? Sometimes you paint.
Okay, there's one piece that's over there which is a painting. I've gone back, I used to paint years ago, watercolour, and I've just gone back to doing some acrylic work. All the rest are photographs.
Well, and they're very painterly, your photographs. That's what I love about them, actually. And the one in particular here,
Yes.
which actually really does, I mean, I guess I can see the photography in it, but I really do feel like it's a painting right here in this particular spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what do you use? A digital camera, 35 millimeter?
I use a digital SLR. I went over about 5 years ago to the dark side, some people would say.
Right.
But it allows me to actually have the dark room on my computer rather than having to go through a printer to do that process, because I always feel, I never did my own printing. If you do your own printing, you don't lose something, perhaps. But if you go through a third party, sometimes there can be communication, might not be spot on. So now I've got total control, which suits my Virgo birth sign.
And we still believe in the horoscope, but anyway. And so behind us, these are all giclée prints, though, of photography.
Yes, they are giclée prints on canvas. Yes,
okay,
correct.
yeah, and you do them now by yourself, is what you were just told us. You do them yourself.
On the computer, then I send them off to a company to print them for me.
Aha, so you do actually the tweak yourself?
Tweak
Any
myself,
of the,
yes.
so they don't have to, and if they do, beware.
They don't, yes, they don't, we're not allowed to.
Okay, and that's become sort of big of late, the giclée, because the quality and the standard is getting
Yes,
higher and higher.
And canvases have come on so far in 5 years. I would not have done this 5 years ago. Absolutely not.
Is there a particular type of canvas that you would use?
No, it's basically a standard sort of cotton canvas.
Well,
thing.
we're going to take a look around, and we're going to move around across the room. We were talking about giclée, and through the magic of television, we're popped up and we're standing in front of one of those that I was really admiring. And I was mentioning how more frequently they're being used now. And you told me, I think, when you send it out, you do all the tweaking, you send it out. But what's changed? Why are giclée so much more popular now?
Giclée is a really high-end print process, so you get better quality. And since I've been able to do giclée prints on canvas, it's just kept the integrity of the photograph together, because 5 years ago you couldn't get that same integrity. I still feel personally that you have to be careful what you choose to put on canvas, because not everything works, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, are there certain things that don't work on canvas?
I think so. If you're going to really go, as they say in the photography industry, when they say tack sharp, they want it razor sharp. Canvas isn't always going to give you that razor sharp. Film is still sort of like the best for that.
We've strolled around a little bit further into Gas Gallery and Studios in front of the signature piece. This is the piece that was used for your image for the show.
Absolutely,
And
yes.
I love it so much, and I didn't really realize it was a photograph initially, and I really did not at all.
A lot of my work is painterly. A lot of people say that, and I think that's why a lot of it lends itself to going on canvas, because people look at it and go, is it a painting, is it a photograph, until they look at it more closely.
And one of the things, besides the fabulous colors, I mean, it's just stunning. Your work in black and white, we're going to see some in a minute, is also stunning, but it's just so vibrant, and we were talking about a little quirk in almost every one.
Yes.
In this case, you pointed this out, that there is just a very clear edge here, but nowhere else in the piece. Now, was that intentional? when you did
Yes,
that?
it was. I use a certain lens that can sort of blur most of the area out, and then just have one razor sharp piece. And I like playing with people where you've got this wonderful sort of like painterly reflection of the sky and the water, and then your eyes looking for the, subconsciously possibly, for the razor sharp edge, and then basically you'll find it down here.
Down there. Well, I'm very taken with that, and it was a good choice to select the image. Did you do that, or did,
No, I did
Yes,
that because
you made the
I
choice.
think it's a strong.
yeah, it's absolutely wonderful. Now we're gonna stroll over here and see some of your black and white and a few other colors.
Super.
And here we are further down the line. We have something over your right shoulder and over mine, which are two totally different types of pieces, but they're still the same. Tell me about the one over your shoulder.
It's I'm a big fan of patterns and texture. This is a sort of sand and water running over sand, and actually on this one did a positive and negative image together, and then I did put a slight blue colouring to this just to bring out the definition on the patterns and the water. I love this piece because I love the one sharp stone just up here, which is one of my little quirks again.
There's your quirk, it's your tweak. Now over here also, I had a lot of fun with this because I was taking a still photograph. And what is this, also water? This is water?
This is water after it's come down from a waterfall, and it has froth on it, and the foam just, to me, formed a beautiful astral pattern. That has just been very minimally colour corrected and left as is.
Except for our little spot.
That was as is. That's a red leaf. It was in autumn.
When you said astral, that's what I thought of.
Absolutely.
I went, oh, he's found a new planet.
Absolutely.
I was feeling bad for Pluto. I don't need to worry anymore. And here we are at just an amazing piece to me. I look at this and I feel instant peace. And I guess you called it your Zen piece?
It is my Zen piece. It's very Japanese to me. The sky was amazing. It was early in the morning, and it had this wonderful lavender hue to it, which was reflected on the water. And then with the lily pads at the bottom, it just spoke to me, and I shot away and got this shot.
When you're taking a shot such as this, using this as an example, do you go, wow, that's a really good shot? Or do you not know until you get home and you futz with it or you see it in print?
Yeah, modern cameras only allow you to look at them so big, so you get a gist of what might be good, as long as there's some sharp elements in it, from what I need. It's when I get back to the computer and I go, yes, that's it.
Dang, I'm good.
Yeah. Well, I don't
No, you don't say that, but darn, that was a good shot and how lucky. I think one of the reasons why I love artists so much is they're so appreciative when something works right. They're
Absolutely.
excited about it and grateful that they had that moment
Yes.
of creativity. I get that sense from you in every piece that comes through. So we're going to go over across the room and sit. And here we are in front of some black and whites. And we were talking a little bit about, many are lots of color, many are subdued like your Zen piece, and these are black and whites. And I wanted you to tell me a little bit about when you take a photograph, how do you decide whether you want it to be black and white, or were these black and white by nature?
Right.
Or how did you do that?
Right, well basically this whole series along here is of West Hampton Beach, all shot in the same session. Because the light was so fabulous, the wind was blowing a gale, so therefore we had movement with the sand, and it was the movement, the light was just perfect, and I was just shooting away like crazy. I probably took 200 shots of West Hampton Beach that afternoon. It was late afternoon, just before the sun was going down. And I just knew I was going to get some good work. I did take out a lot of the colour because they're very monochromatic anyway, but I just thought making them black and white gave them a bit more definition. There was one piece which has a spade in it, which I left as a colour photograph, and you'll see how much iron ore is in the sand at West Hampton, which gives it this very monochromatic look. But no, it was all about the wind and the light. That's why I wanted to shoot away, and the contrast was fabulous.
And who would have known wind was a factor in photography? Well, I should have known, but I bet many of our audience viewers may not know that. A little secret you're giving away.
Movement. A lot of my pieces have movement in them. Whether it be clouds, whether it be water, whether it be wind.
Well, speaking of movement, we're going to move over and have a look at some of the rest of your pieces, okay? We have some more wonderful in your black and white series. Now, this is remarkable. This has got to be sands, or is that water?
No, it's actually sand. It's the iron ore content again in the beach that just struck me, and then you have all this, the lighter sand being blown over the top of it, so it's a wonderful contrast. And then my little quirks, leaving a little bit of the water, the sea just in the top here, and there's tyre tracks just in that corner, just frame it perfectly, in my opinion. I love that piece.
And then this one, in and of itself, is also sand. It's with tire tracks, I guess?
Yes,
Okay.
I would imagine it's the beach patrol that have been across there, and it just gives a wonderful sort of almost dissecting it on the angle across the piece. But then, again, it's beautiful movement of the sand at the top here.
I see the movement now that you've drawn my attention to it. And the one thing you said is you're taken with corners, so sometimes we need to look at your work and look
Yes.
for the corner, see what the little special hidden
Yes.
item is. And we have another black and white over here. I'm just going to walk on over, and I want you to tell our viewing audience, this is your acrylic painting, you went back to it, you said. Yeah. How has it been for you to be in this area and be around all this art? Has it been beyond the beyond?
Fabulous, fabulous. And I have to say, Rick is at the fulcrum of that. Being in his opening of his gallery, having a piece in that, and then doing the Haiti event, and the artist tour, it's just fabulous. There were so many talented people around here, and that inspires you. You see their work, you think, wow, I need to push myself further, which I love.
Right, you feel the need to get busy, so you're never very dormant. Well, you certainly have been a treat for the eyes here. I really thank you, and I thank Rick for the show and sharing it with us all. And we thank you for joining us on All Art, All the Time for SOMAtv. And thank you, and I look forward to seeing more of your work, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Good day. Hi, this is Nancy Heinz-Glaser with SOMAtv for All Art, All the Time. Today we're in a wonderful space available to all of us, South Orange, Maplewood, and everywhere at the Walsh Library Gallery at Seton Hall campus, South Orange. And I want to have you have an opportunity to not only meet the artist that's here, but also meet the curator of this exhibit and almost all of them, Jean Gracile.
Tracy and I met, I believe, in either 2006 or early 2007 at a show that he was exhibiting in Newark at a gallery that was called Red Saw Art at the time. It was a show called Cast, and it was curated by D.C. Smith, who's a friend of mine. I saw, I believe, 2 pieces of his work in the show, and I fell in love immediately. And as a matter of fact, this piece, Chorus, was in the show called Cast, and it's in our show as well. We started a dialogue in 2007 about Tracy having a solo show here at Seton Hall's Walsh Gallery. And so we've been planning it for 3 years, and Animal, Plant, Mineral is the result of those conversations and studio visits and dialogue with one another. And it's a show that it's curated by myself. I'm also the gallery director of the Walsh Gallery. And the Walsh Gallery was inaugurated in 1994. It's part of the university libraries at Seton Hall University. And since 1994, we've been doing about 6 to 7 shows per year here. The only time we're closed is generally during the month of August, when we need to take a break and things slow down at the university anyway.
We're going to take a stroll around and have a chance to talk to the artist, Tracy Heneberger. Hi, I'm here now and so happy to have in my company Tracy Heneberger. It took me 15 times to learn how to say it. How are you, Tracy?
I'm fine, thank you.
And we're here with your wonderful work at the Walsh Gallery, and we chatted a little bit with Jean, and I know this took a long time to establish the work. Tell us a little bit about the 3 pieces we're standing in front of now. This is some of your more recent work, I think.
Yes, it
Tell us a
is.
little bit about the 3 pieces that we
Okay.
have here.
Well, the 3 pieces on this wall represent the 3-word title of the exhibit, which is Animal, Plant, Mineral. And the piece on my right is called Cool Water. It's a piece made with red snapper heads, and it's from 2007. And this piece right here, the stone piece, is called Bloom, and it's from 2008, made from stones from Mabu on Cape Breton Island in Nova Scotia. And the piece on the other side of you is called Compass, and it was just made last fall. It's a 2009, and it's made from sections of dried mushrooms. So these 3 pieces are actually representing the animal, the plant, and the mineral of the title of the show.
The reason I found this whole exhibit amazing is that you switch in between materials. You use natural organic materials, you use not, or for the most part you do bronze casting from those, and some you just create and forge and do on your own. How do you decide what you're going to do? Do you make shifts? Do you decide, I'm tired of that, I'll do that now, or how do you do that?
Yeah, I go back and forth between the materials. I've worked with the fish, with anchovies, with sardines, with red snapper here, with stickfish from the south of China. I've been casting in China and working in China off and on for the last 10 years. So I've been working with fish since 2003. I've been working with the stones since 2005. I've been working with the mushrooms since 2004. So these 3 materials represented right here, the 3 of the materials I'm most interested in. And lots of times I work with them in their organic state, and many times I'll work with them and then cast the pieces that I make in bronze. I'm obviously not doing that with the stones, but I do that with the fish and with the mushrooms. And then in addition to that, there are some other materials that I work with. But I think 16 of the 24 pieces in this show are represented by the fish, the stones, and the mushrooms. So that's a big part of the show. It's been a big, big part of my work for the last 10 years.
Now here we are at one of my favorite pieces. Would you give us the name and tell us your inspiration and how the heck you did this?
This piece is called A Waking Dream, and it's a brand new piece. As a matter of fact, I started working on this piece last year because I felt, specifically for this show, because I felt that we needed a drawing. I needed a drawing in here in the group of pieces, and I don't actually make drawings, but this is bronze, and this is as close as I come to a drawing. So the title of the piece is A Waking Dream, and as I said, I've been thinking about the piece loosely for a couple of years, and the title comes from something that the English writer Coleridge said. He said, a poem can be a dream, but it should be a waking dream. And one of the inspirations for the piece was precisely that feeling of waking in the morning and having many fragments of dreams in your head. And unless you write them down right away, they're very fleeting. They run away very quickly. So to me, in one sense, metaphorically, these represented these kind of tentacle shapes, these arms coming out off the main body of the piece represented those ideas that were fleeting at that moment of waking. On the other hand, this represents many of the natural impulses that I've worked with in my work for years, because I've worked with octopus tentacles, and this certainly has some suggestion of that. So I hope it has a reaching out quality.
It's wild. I love it. So it really does. I think it may, because it's sort of almost, to me, it's also nightmarish.
Yeah.
So you got the dream part really good. But,
yeah, there's the Medusa side of things.
Exactly. Well, thank you. And I think we're going to go across the way now and see some of your other work, some of the older work, a little bit of different, more natural materials as well. So, okay. Tell us how all these are made.
Okay.
We start with that guy, because he's one of my faves.
Okay, so this is a piece from 2003, and it's called Bahia. And Bahia is the name of a city that I lived in Brazil with my family, of course, when I was a child for a couple of years. And it's the place where I at least began to develop my deep love for the ocean. This is a bronze, and it's cast from octopus tentacles. And actually, it was a very, very tricky cast, because it goes down, as you can see, to basically 1 millimeter here at some of these tips. And it was cast. You and I were speaking earlier about the process, and it's the lost wax process, which is the same process that the Greeks and the Chinese have been using for millennia. Except this piece needed a specific lost wax casting process, which is called ceramic shell. Most of the bronzes in this room were cast investment style, and that's a different process. This process right here, ceramic shell, is really designed to get incredible detail. Basically, you take this object, which is made from octopus tentacles, and you create a gating system using wax, running off the octopus tentacle piece. That, when it is melted away, will be the channels through which the bronze will flow when you actually cast it. So you take the piece with all the gates in wax, and you dip it in successive layers of ceramic shell mix, wet mix, and it hardens. It's very, very strong. You put it in a kiln and you bake it, and you basically burn out what's inside. So you burn out the octopus, you burn out the wax, thereby creating these channels through which the bronze flows, and then you pour it. And inevitably, with something this tricky and this fine, you probably cast a couple extra tentacles as well, because it's not going to come out perfectly. You're going to want to have a little bit. But anyway, this came out almost perfectly, and there it is. And very few people suspect that it's bronze.
Because of the detail.
Because of the detail and how difficult it is to get this kind of detail.
Now, is this one next to bronze also, or?
This is bronze also, and actually this is the other brand new piece that I made for this exhibit, along with A Waking Dream. This is cast from lychee, from angelica roots. And so each one of these is an angelica root, a separate angelica root. Angelica is from the carrot family, and it's very common throughout Asian cultures. Not only as an element in cooking, but also because it's believed to have strong medicinal and herbal properties. One of the reasons I love the angelica roots is that they have these representative kind of characteristics. When you look at each one of these individually, there's a little bit of a figure in each one, there's a little bit of a finger in each one. To me, it suggests lots of different things. But the rendezvous seem to be appropriate.
This is aluminum, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Mushrooms are one of those natural materials that you use, and sometimes are on the cover of your booklet. So is that another medicinal relationship, or how did you choose mushrooms? And tell us a little bit about how you do this.
Yeah, well, I chose mushrooms for a number of reasons. There are many connections between mushrooms and sacred objects and ritual practices, and I'm interested in that, but primarily I chose, I'm just attracted to the formal qualities of the mushrooms. I'm attracted to them for their formal qualities and also what I think of as their tremendous metaphoric powers. I mean, they're very suggestive, and in addition to, I mean, I think that there are a lot of them that look quite a bit like shells. So there's that connection to the sea in that part of it, and in this piece right here, I think that which is called Cloud. I feel like they're very reminiscent of Cloud. So I like them because of their associational richness, I guess I could say, because they conjure up lots of ideas and lots of formal qualities in my mind. And this is the only aluminum cast I've ever made. This is aluminum, like you said, and I harvested these mushrooms in the Catskill Mountains in New York, and I've been working on corner pieces. I've been working in the corner for about 10 years now. I've made 10 or 12 pieces in the corner, and it's a part of the room that really attracts me. So this is one of the most recent ones that I've made in the corner. So the backs of the mushrooms are just cut on a 90-degree angle so that it fits snugly in the corner, and hopefully it looks like it's been growing there for a long time.
That's why it feels to me in the corner also. But I think one of the things that I want to say before we close off is that you've spent so much time, and as I said, you've had so many shows from Iowa to Oslo, and you've spent a lot of time in Beijing. That's really where you've done most of your work. True?
Not necessarily most of it. I've cast a lot of it. I mean, 6 of the pieces in the show have been cast in Beijing, but there's no underestimating the significance or the importance of the time that I've spent in China. For many, many reasons, it's been very important to this body of work. And this body of work really this is from 1999 to the present time, and I started going to Beijing in 1998. And I started casting bronze in 1999. And I started really focusing on the wall in 1999. And on these organic materials in 2000. So this dozen-year survey of work is very timely for many reasons. And China's been a big part of it.
Yeah, 100 to 300 hours for each piece. Is that what you told me? Some take as much as 300 hours. That's a lot.
Sure.
That's an hour a day for, a year.
That's a lot of time. And some of them, there's a lot of collecting. I mean, that's included in it. Some of these pieces that are made from 800 stones on the beach that are very specific in nature. It takes a long time to hunt them down. Or these mushrooms, so there is the whole collecting process. And then, as Jean wrote in her beautiful statement on the wall, there's the ordering process, getting everything that you've collected in the market, on the beach, in the woods, home, and figuring out in the studio, figuring out how to order it and what you want to do with it, and then just being open to all the surprises that inevitably occur.
I want to thank you for gracing the walls at Seton Hall.
Thank you very much.
As an alum, I'm very proud that Jean and you did make the connection and that we're here. And I just think I'd like everybody to know what a valuable resource we have right here on campus in our town. And certainly your show has enlightened many people.
Thank you very much.
To the quality of what we have here. So thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. That's Nancy Hines Glazer for All Art, All the Time.